Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to Omen Exitio, Plague. The name of this game is really confusing to me. It's like three words and they don't feel like they connect. Omen Exitio. It doesn't feel like those two words connect. And then Plague doesn't feel like they connect. Doesn't feel like it connects to the other words. So I always have to stop myself and be like, what is the name of this game? But anyway, we're back. Last time we got on a boat. We managed to get away from the Germans, and looks like we're almost back to Zanzibar. The map did change. Excuse me. Got a little tickle in my throat. Land at last. Your camp awaits you, the prelude to arriving back home. The tension accumulated up until that point has now vanished. The closer you get to the shore, the harder you find it to breathe. You don't see Stone Town's distinctive profile. Yeah, where did you take us? The city is near, but I have some business to attend to here in Bumbwini. It's not a long way from here to Stone Town. Follow the coast southwards. You can't go wrong. You leave the fisherman's boat, and the man waves you goodbye with a smile as he makes his way for Bumbwini. His help was invaluable. Without him, you would have wandered the African coast aimlessly before dying of starvation and exposure to the elements. The man demanded nothing of you, and you have no reason to berate him, despite the change of course. Yeah, definitely, he helped you out a lot, man. You're weak with hunger, and in this state, you don't feel able to walk all the way to the city. Along the road, you come across some local farmers' fields. The fields are bare and small, likely the only livelihood for the families who toil there. You don't know what to do, as there aren't many options. Asking for food from people who can hardly spare it, or stoop to stealing it. Oh crap. We're gonna ask. We're not gonna just steal it. Okay. Oh crap. That would have been a good opportunity to put one in speechcraft. Oops. You look carefully and see some farmers not too far away. You approach them with practiced ease, and ask them for something to eat. Apparently have business with the British and they speak your language. You see them waver, but you insist, telling them that you're here to protect them from the Germans. After rapidly exchanging a meaningful look, one farmer takes a basket and hands it to you, clumsily adding a disastrous military salute. You thank him warmly and retrace your footsteps. Awesome, we got some food. You got us a good bit of experience too, suddenly. You proceed towards the base, walking almost mechanically. Your legs simply want to reach their destination, while your mind is left to wander. Excuse me. The sun is setting slowly beyond the horizon, but you have not yet arrived. You choose to set up camp for the night, and luckily you find shelter in a seemingly suitable cave. The light from the campfire shines on the rock formation surrounding you, bathing it in the shades of orange and red. Before sleep, you eat the remaining food. Tomorrow you should manage to get to Stone Town easily, and will be able to delight your palates with a decent meal. O'Bannon has kept to himself the whole time, as if something had drained him of his joyfulness. Probably your terrible job patching up his leg. You've never seen him like this. As far as you can remember, at mealtime, Ed has never missed a chance to uncork one of his bottles with you and enjoy himself, regardless of your being in the middle of the sea, surrounded by deliriously sick men, or amidst ferocious foes. Do we check on his wound again? How's the leg, Ed? It's nothing, Jake. I'll be fine. I just need a bit of sleep. You dismiss the words of the young Irishman and check on him yourself. During the march, his wound had gotten infected and his fever has risen. You clean his wound and bandage it with a strip of cloth, hoping it will suffice until arriving in Stone Town. Thanks, Doc. I just need a bottle or two, and tomorrow I'll be as good as new. He offers you one of his bottles. You take it and sit beside him, watching him for a couple of seconds more before raising a small toast. Here's to your health. It'd be funny if he's like, here's to my health being better if you had done a better job with my leg. You drink quietly without making any noise until O'Bannon starts softly singing one of his old Irish songs. It sounds like a lullaby, though you don't bother asking and listen to him in silence, taking one more swig from the bottle. Your head is pounding and you are exhausted after a long walk. You have the unnerving feeling that the second you close your eyes, there will be more nightmares awaiting you. Part of you would like to resist from sleeping. You lie still a couple minutes before falling asleep. At first light, you decide to check on Ed right away. You approach your Irish friend with a cheap joke, but you get no answer. A strange unease takes hold of you, as if the morning sun was incapable of warming your sleeping limbs. You lean over Ed, you shake him, but as you touch him, you feel on his cold skin. Crap. Nipping at your fingertips with a cold chill, the fever has taken his life during the night. Great. Well, there goes the main characters. I thought, yeah, the guy, what was his name? Ryan. What's his name, Ryan? Crap, I forgot already. Yeah, Ryan. Yeah. Well, so much for keeping him involved at the beginning of the game. Can't spit a word. You are frozen there for a moment as your throat dries into a knot that's impossible to untie, and you feel like you can't breathe. You fall on the ground, collapsing next to your friend's body. Tears start flowing again, and you can't do anything to stop them, allowing yourself that single moment alone with the corpse of the young Irishman. Whoa, we're not just going to do that. No. Yeah, Smith, to help you bury Ed, you can't leave him like that. Captain Smith accepts graciously without showing any sign of grief. But nowadays you know your officer well, and you notice the vehemence in his demeanor as he helps you dig a grave deep enough. There's anger in his every movement, and an extreme care as he lays the Irishman within the earth, almost as if he were a son. Farewell, soldier, rest in peace. Another tear runs down your face. You thank your dear friend and say your goodbyes, pouring on him what remains in one of his whiskey bottles. You promise him, you promise him you and the others will have a drink in his honor as soon as possible. So I'm assuming that he would probably still be alive if I had a higher medicine skill, right? Some sad notes escape your lips as you try to hum the melody O'Bannon was singing yesterday night. You don't know the exact words that make them up, mixing together English and some sentences you've heard from your Irish friend. Even though you don't understand the meaning, you can see how the young soldier was trying to stay strong with that melody to face his last night bravely. It could have been a lullaby, but you'll never know. Also, I wonder if I'd got him some food. Probably not. That probably wouldn't save them, though. You resume marching towards Stone Town. If Abbas was right, your destination shouldn't be too far. You hope it proves true, because every additional minute you spend in these lands will always be a minute too soon. At last, the outline of Stone Town appears in front of your eyes. You are relieved after the enormous weight on this hard mission. Smith shares your enthusiasm, and you both pick up your pace to leave behind you this horrible experience as soon as possible. But a few seconds later, a young British soldier pops up in front of you, running towards you frantically. They must have seen you from the watchtower. The soldier speaks with Captain Smith, but you can't make out a single word they're saying. A horrified expression, the likes of which you had never seen before, dawns on your CO's face. The two men start running towards Stone Town. Well, this isn't good. As soon as you arrive at headquarters, you're immediately led to the sick bay. Your stomach twists suddenly, already anticipating the scene you might find in front of your eyes. In the infirmary, you see men screaming, convulsing, and others covered in sweat from their burning fever, sores devastating the patient's skin, blood soaking the sheets, stained with bodily fluids. The dying's wails and the cries of those who have lost their mind under the disease's feverish delirium echoed throughout the large room. During the turmoil, you notice a doctor who you approach for some kind of explanation. We were hit by a violent epidemic, fever, sores, hallucinations. The doctor doesn't wait around and immediately leaves to go take care of some patients. You know very well the symptoms the doctor described. You look around and notice somebody's lying on the floor. There's nothing you can do for them anymore. There's absolutely no time to waste. You're a doctor. You must do your part. Oh, crap. You say, my medical skill, so low. You approach one of the patients and start to inspect him. He has an abnormally high temperature. He's babbling meaningless words, and the beginnings of lesions are visible on his skin, symptoms you've come to be familiar with. The same disease that has stricken East Africa. Why did we go to East Africa if we were having to worry about it here? I can't remember why we did that. Our mission was to go there to find out more information on this plague. I'm confused. I guess they just weren't expecting to get here, you know, like to Zanzibar. Well, let's use our medicine. Okay. Roll up your sleeves and resume your careful examination of the patient, trying to understand how the contagion occurs, develop and spread. You can only conjecture that there have been some sort of contact between Zanzibar and the rest of East Africa. Probably one or more infected people have left their villages, running from the epidemic and knowingly carrying it to the island. However, something still eludes you. Certain dynamics of this illness remain incomprehensible to you, alien to everything you've learned through years of medical school and practice. You leave the sick beds, doing your utmost to ignore the sounds of those screams and moans. You wish you could do something for them, but you need to talk to Smith and clarify why he was so upset at the information that soldier carried. Could there be news about the disease itself? As you ponder this new question, you freeze on the spot at the side of one of the infirmary cots. I would say that so many beds, so many people getting the disease here would be reason enough for them to get alarmed, Well, there's the answer right there. Smith is at the bedside of his son, Scott. The cold military facade the man has worn all through your mission lays shattered in front of the boy's frail body. Smith's pain laid bare for all to see. Okay, this is what I was worrying about. I can't remember if I said anything about it. I don't think I did. But when he was when he saw his son there, I was like, he's not coming on this mission, is he? I was thinking that, that'd be a good way for him to get the very disease that, they're trying not to get, But it seems like that would be a good idea for the kid to have came now. Scott is convulsing and screaming incomprehensibly. As soon as Smith sees you, he leaves his child's bedside and approaches you impetuously. Ooh, I know what he's gonna ask. He took it? Huntington, I'm begging you, help my son, you must save him. You hesitate out of surprise, and Smith is almost on his knees in front of you, imploring you to help. My medicine skill's only 3. Will it be enough? It can get up to 8. Is 3 out of 8 enough? Okay, good. You immediately set out to lower the child's temperature, and luckily your efforts seem to bear fruit. This surely won't be enough to save him, but at least you've soothed this pain and gained some time, in case you should attempt a different approach later. I was wondering if Smith knew that we knew if the stuff had been stolen, and I thought he was going to ask for that concoction that Lorraine had made. It's a critical stage. Small sores start to appear on the child's skin, most likely together with internal bleeding. You fear it's too late to intervene and try to explain this to the captain, to prevent him from getting his hopes up. Smith doesn't listen. He's not present. His eyes are fixed on the window. Scott screams violently to snap you back to reality. The child is screaming and writhing in his cot, unable to find peace as his skin erupts in small lesions. It's agonizing. You can't help but stare in wide-eyed horror as the disease burns up the little innocent boy. What? What? What achievement fail? What achievement fail? My medical skill was high. I succeeded. His torment comes to an end that night. When hoarse from screaming, he dies in the arms of his father. You look inside at the scene, convinced that Smith is crying. You're overwhelmed by a great feeling of powerlessness. You can't hold back your tears. You couldn't do anything. You weren't able to save Scott's life. Sucks, man. Achievement failed. How do you save him? How do you save him? Do you have to have good fighting to beat up Meyer or whatever, to keep the concoction, and then you use the concoction on Scott? Is that how you do it? That's the only thing I can think of it. I've still got nothing in my inventory. Well, gee, thanks, game, for making me feel guilty. You leave the sick bay. You haven't had a minute of rest before finding yourself yet again in the middle of a storm. You're exhausted. You come across some soldiers carrying a backpack and more exploration equipment. They finally found an expedition that had been missing for weeks. You've moved closer to learn more, trying to divert your thoughts away from the disease. The soldiers tell you about a troop which had left about 2 weeks ago in search of water in springs inland. During the mission, those soldiers disappeared, never sending any messages as to their whereabouts. A recovery team was given the task of finding them, but all they could find were the corpses of the men, in horrifying conditions, all of them. The soldiers stop talking and shiver faintly. Then they proceed to empty the salvaged backpacks and inspect their contents. Your attention is drawn by the thud of a diary falling on the table. You see it there, surrounded by other trinkets. You approach it, intending to examine it. The cover is inscribed with the name of Private Eric McLean. You untie the strings that hold the notebook closed. Then you open it and start to read. We were at the mercy of delirious savages. They were running towards us, their eyes bloodshot. We tried to locate an escape route. Discovering only too late we had locked ourselves into a horrendous trap. You rapidly flipped through the rest of the diary, jumping back and forth through the pages to find more details. Last night I was plagued by terrible nightmares, creatures only a feverish mind could produce. I believe the visions and dreams are closely linked to the disease itself. In what measure, however, I dare not say, unless I venture hypotheses that fall outside the canons of what we usually call science. What are you reading, Private? One of the men has approached you with a curious look on his face, his eyes turning to the recovered diary. Can we be like, hey, I'm just reading. I'm going to keep reading. Crap. Now, this is one of my harder decisions. It's not the hardest decision, but, I'm very tempted. I'm thinking I'm going to tell him to leave me alone. Because it sounds like we don't keep reading it if we're polite. That's the way it sounds like. So I want to keep reading. I want to see what's in there, you know. You turn fractionally to the side, keeping Zyra from his meddling eyes. You answer without raising your eyes from the pages you're reading. I believe this is no business of yours. See, I don't think you should keep this. It could contain some important information. Dang it. The man extends his palm. He expects you to hand him the notebook. This man is a bit too demanding. Crap, I can't raise my speechcraft anymore right now. Okay, good. Well, if it's so important, then it's in the right hands of me. The soldier grits his teeth and leaves. After this brief interruption, you're musing that what you have just learned shares a number of traits with your current situation. Maybe you should continue reading later on when you'll be able to concentrate. You slip the diary into your backpack just as another soldier approaches you. The man informs you that you've been summoned by your commanding officers. Your heart skips a beat, but you try to keep your calm and meekly follow the messenger. Uh-oh. It's going to be bad. You nervously walk to HQ's command room, and you can't help wondering if perhaps you were summoned to be discharged. The officers await you in a room with rather Spartan furnishings. There's a desk almost exactly in the center and some African trophies hanging on the walls. Please, Huntington, have a seat. Mr. Huntington, you've stood out both during the action and as a medic. As such, we've decided to award you with a commendation and a medal for bravery and skill in battle. You're surprised. You would never have expected this. You warmly thank the officers, but you still venture the request for indefinite leave, making your intention of resuming your civilian life known. The three men stay silent for an instant, then begin exchanging opinions. If this is your request, we feel bound to honor it. We'll organize it so that you can leave for London today with a place in an officer's cabin. We hope that someday you'll choose to offer your service once again to the British Army. What achievement did I get? Okay. Even though my fighting it was 1, and it sounds like I could have, saved my friends there. All of them. You take your leave and return to the barracks to pack for your impending departure. You glance at your comrades' cots, both of the men you left behind, and those who have to leave now. You close your fist around your backpack strap, taking a deep breath. It's time to go back to London. You make your way towards the harbor. As much as you want to set sail for home, you can't help glancing one last time at the barracks and the training field as they slip away from your sight. Your thoughts go to Omen and Vespucci. Their stories, the fragment of life you spent together with them. They were good kids, both of them. Lost in thought, you almost don't notice that you've arrived. You're climbing on board when you see Smith on the deck. You meet his eyes, but the captain stares right through you dully, almost unrecognizable. There's no longer fire in his eyes, as if his determination has given way, drowned in an ocean of despair. His child's death must have hit him hard. which makes sense. The captain was probably called back to London or granted a period of leave for mourning. A young soldier is tasked with carrying your luggage into the officer's cabin you were given. You choose to spend the time before departure on the ship's deck to look at Stone Town one last time. You watch the sailors loading the last provisions. The vessel is now ready to leave. At last, the ship is unmoored and set sail. The sirens announcing its departure pierces your eardrums, and the light motion of the sea greets you once again. There's a long journey ahead of you, and you're going to use that time to collect your thoughts and try to rest after the whirlwind you've just experienced. You head for your cabin on the officer's deck. It is a spacious room with a bed that looks extremely soft, a desk refined with wooden finishings, and supplied with the essentials for writing letters or keeping a journal. So, are we pretty sure now we don't have the disease? I think we feel confident we don't have it now. As you put away your belongings, your gaze falls on Eric McLean's diary, since you kept it in a pocket of your backpack. This journey could be a good time to study its memoir. You look at the journal for a couple seconds, but right then your stomach starts rumbling. You feel hungry and need to grab a bite. Although you could take a look at McLean's diary first. Let's read it now. Let's find out more. I have a feeling that we're not going to be able to keep this forever. Especially if it gives me the option, you know. You start reading from the beginning. Mr. Eric McLean, the British Royal Navy hereby summons you to lead an expedition to the territory of Nungui in East Africa. Your experience and abilities will be employed in the detachment serving under Commander Rogers. The letter continues detailing a scouting mission. McLean shows a hint of disappointment in his diary. Apparently, he wasn't particularly keen on being called back in the service. Sweet, I'm getting experience. Nice. Ooh, and I can get another skill now. As you read the last sentence on the page, your stomach starts rumbling in earnest. You must eat something or you'll risk fainting, something you've become fairly well acquainted with recently. You'll resume your reading later. Can't talk tonight. You place the diary in a drawer, then leave your cabin for the mess hall. You sit next to some officers. Smith is in front of you. The captain stays silent all through the mealtime. He picks at his food, and although the room is filled with a joyful, carefree atmosphere, he visibly isn't in the mood for laughing or joking. As for you, he never looks you in the eye. Is he pissed off that we're leaving? Although he's not there either, but you aren't able to get carried away by the soldier's good spirits either. You eat your meal in silence under the persistent feeling you're being observed. You turn around, but there are too many people, and there is too much noise in the room. You blame your paranoia and force yourself to go back to the celebration. After all, your experience on the field has definitely worn you out, and you probably just need to relax a bit. When the meal is over, you stand and leave the mess hall, but soon afterwards you get a piercing migraine. Let's go to the deck. The smell of salt air hits you the exact moment you set foot on the deck. Zanzibar's shores are now far away, and the vast expanse of open sea stands between your ship and the Suez port, the first stopover in your long journey back to London. You inhale a second time and close your eyes, enjoying the sounds of the sea. It's rolling and splashing. You lose yourself in those sensations as the sharp throbbing of your headache fades away, disappearing almost completely. However, your exhaustion doesn't follow suit. You still feel dead on your feet and in dire need of sleep. Okay, I'm really curious. I'm going to be playing this game multiple times. Don't know whether it'd be worth doing it again on stream, but yeah, I'm intrigued because if I was able to save his son, then he would not be as would he be on the ship? That makes me wonder. You lie on the bed, and in a few seconds you're in a deep sleep. When you open your eyes, it is night. The ship is in turmoil. It is facing the rough, stormy sea. A rumbling thunder responds through your room for a couple seconds. You hear a faint rustling on the other side of the door, as if someone were trying to enter your cabin. Just be alert. You lie in wait close to the door, listening. Whoever was on the other side has given up their plan on coming in. It was just a drunk soldier who got the cabin wrong. Dang it! I actually wish I'd opened it now. I bet it was Smith trying, wanting to talk, and then he decided not to. Dadgummit. Chose to go back to sleep. Dang it! Now I regret it. Can I go back? Anyway, though, that's gonna be it for this episode. I'm really curious where this game is going to continue. They killed off multiple characters, and that makes me wonder how the game could go if the characters were not dead. Because he can obviously save both all three of them. Well, I don't know about O'Bannon. I didn't miss an achievement on saving him, so maybe he is destined to die no matter what. But I did fail to get the achievement to keep Ryan and Batsara. Is that his name? Yeah, Batsara. Keep them from dying. And I didn't get the achievement for keeping Scott alive. So, I wonder what they would if they would continue to affect the story. Then again, I feel like story wise, us leaving and going back to London might be a way to kind of like be like, oh, they're alive, but they're going to stay in service, in Zanzibar, or just stay in service, period, and not be in London. So I do feel like that might be a way to be like, hey, you saved them, but they're no longer in the story, so don't have to do the work of fitting them into everywhere and not have alternate, things, But I'm curious, though. I am curious how much that would affect. But that is going to be it for this episode. I do sincerely hope you guys are enjoying the series. I know I'm enjoying the game. Like I said, I'm curious to see where all this goes. But anyway, if you did enjoy, leave a like if you wish, and subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, let me know what you think so far. And I will see you in the next episode. Later there, folks.